Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. And we got, I think it's going to be a fun game today. We got another game from the MSL Top 100 series. This is number 86. And if you're following along, you might have noticed that, chronologically speaking, I guess chronologically for me, because these games are not in order chronologically at all, in the MSL ranking, but for me, I've skipped several because I've been having trouble finding the VODs. I'm gonna try and see if I can get some torrents to work, to be able to get some VODs later on this week, hopefully. But in any case, so I had to skip several. This is the first VOD I could find that was actually a VOD for the game that it was easy to find because I didn't quite have the time to track down some of the other VODs yet. But I will do that later on. I'm gonna try and see if I can get every single VOD in the MSL 100. Anyway, regardless, this is Canta versus Bisu, and this is gonna be hopefully an exciting match. Bisu is gonna be the red Protoss over here at the right side of the map that we just saw the, I guess, brownish orange Terran at the bottom left is Canta, and Bisu. This is an interesting situation. Bisu is the MSL champion right now. This is from the second GomTV MSL, if I'm not mistaken. Bisu won the first GomTV MSL, and please correct me if I have the timeline wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on in this situation. And this is the second GomTV MSL, and so Bisu is defending his championship here. He's going up against Canta in the round of 16, and what is going on there? That is adorable. In any case, Canta trying to make an attempt to get far into a Star League here. Canta is a player, by the way, he was kind of considered to be a TVT specialist, but TVT is really the only matchup that he ended up his career having a positive record in. He went even in TVZ actually. TVP though, Canta ended up his career with a 37% win rate. That's an interesting pylon, by the way. That pylon in Bisu's supply line is just kind of an interesting spot. I'm sure it's been found to be a great spot to make the mining more profitable, more efficient because of the way that it's going to gear the probes to the minerals faster or something like that. But it's just a counterintuitive spot. Maybe unintuitive spot. But in any case, Canta, like I said, he ended his career with a 37% win rate in TVP, which is frankly abysmal for a pro gamer. But you know, this is one of the top 100 MSL games, so hopefully we're going to see something interesting here. We did see Bisu go straight into a second Nexus, by the way. So Canta is building some Marines here. He's blocked off his wall. Are we going to see him? He can't scout now, actually, I think. I think he's not going to scout, because if he lifts his barracks to let his SCV out to go scout Bisu, he will let that probe in to scout his base at the same time. So I don't think he can quite get a scout right now. Bisu has gone, I think he went Nexus first into Gateway, Core Gateway. And now he's actually transferring probes over to the second base very, very quickly in the game. We're only a few minutes in here, and anyway, Canta has gone for a factory behind this wall off as well. It's a cheeky little wall where you don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to go for an expansion? Is he going to go for tech? Is he going to go for a rush? It's hard to tell, and so Bisu kind of has to play against whatever. Although, you know, Bisu took a gamble with this Nexus first anyway. You know, if it had been two barracks played by Canta, then he would just be dead, essentially. So a little bit of a gamble anyway, so he's kind of going to be prepared to play against whatever is going to come his way a little bit later and try and deal with this, whatever happens early, and play a little bit defensively while he gets his economy growing in order to make use of that early expansion, you know? So Bisu has actually made a Zealot. He's running it out on the map as well. He's going to probably just try and harass and see. Actually, you see that Zealot is actually running around through the middle of the map first, looking for proxies, looking for hidden tech, looking for some sort of shenanigans going on. And Canta is now going to finally get this SCV in here. He's going to see the Nexus up. The SCV does not get any farther into the base, though, so he does not know exactly what's going on in Bisu's base. But he's gone for this early factory, and he went factory into command center. So here's the thing. Bisu's going to be head in economy. Canta has not gone for any kind of a rush that's going to match his economic strides. So Canta is going to be behind economically unless he can make use of this early factory in order to punish Bisu. Is that going to happen? Probably not, is what it's looking like. He has gotten a takeout very quickly, and he's probably going to get siege mode here at some point. So it's interesting because like Canta was like playing the same game as Bisu in trying to get an early economic advantage, but he did it a little bit safer, and so he's actually a little bit worse off. You know, I was thinking that maybe if he was going to get vultures or something like that, he could be able to push out and kill some probes, punish Bisu for this early expansion, but Bisu's going to go unpunished for this move. And so Canta is definitely going to have some catching up to do here. And you know what? Getting behind against 2007 Bisu is not where you want to be. How did this Marine get all the way into Bisu's base? That's crazy. He just kind of went... That's okay. That's really weird, but he did get in. He got a full scout on, saw everything, saw the robotics facility, so he knows that there's not any kind of shenanigans. He would be, you know, the obvious follow-up cheese would be not cheese, but like the obvious follow-up, I guess. An obvious follow-up to the fast expansion might be to rush DTs, try and throw your opponent off after that, try and get something to hold off an early attack. But he sees that there's no Templar tech going on right now, just the robotics facility, and I guess the observatory. I'm not sure if the observatory was there, actually. I didn't notice if the observatory was already warping in. I don't think it was when that Marine wandered in there, so it's kind of to be expected, though. When, you know, when a Protoss does this fast expansion, they're going to want to try and play safe, and sometimes observers are actually the safest thing to do. They're not actually very safe against a fast attack, but the fast attack would have come already. So you need those observers so you don't get just hemmed in by mines and harassed to crap by vultures. So I think that's what's going on here. And ooh, what is this? Oh, I forgot. This is Longinus, by the way. There's the expansion that we're just seeing there that Bisu's looking at taking. You just saw it as well as I did. It has 2 gas mines there. So that could be a huge tech advantage if he's able to capture that expansion. He's got the pylons set up in a nice little gateway. He's going to wall that off in a second. Am I seeing that right? There's 2 gas mines there, right? It's hard to remember the details of every map that's ever been played in StarCraft. And this is from 14 years ago, this game. So there's a starport. That's another reason why you want to get observers in case of some sort of cloak wraith shenanigans as well. They're just handy to see what your opponent is doing, you know? And we do see that observer walking, or flying rather, into Canada's base right now. Second observer coming out as well to kind of be a presence on the map. So, yeah, both players, pretty much nothing happening here. Both players just playing very safe expansion builds. But again, Bisu able to get a little bit ahead compared to Canta, and able to squeeze out a 3rd base as well. And probably going to see him go very bullish and aggressive off of 3 bases was what I'm imagining here. With extra gases, he's going to be able to put out a lot of high-tech units and try and get an overwhelming amount of... well, we saw him getting the Citadel of Adun. Probably going to get some Templar at some point before too long. And if he gets those 2 gas mines up, he's going to be able to pump out a lot of high-tech units. So we'll see what those are. He may shift into getting Reavers, I guess, theoretically. But with the Citadel, I wouldn't be surprised if it was going straight into Templar attack. It looks like Canta is actually posturing to move out and control a 3rd as well. He is going for the inside 3rd, though. The sort of inside of the map, I should say. Which I believe is a mineral only. But I'm not certain. We'll have to see in a minute here. There's the Citadel. Do we see a Templar Archives anywhere? That may have been what that warp-in was happening right there, but I'm not sure. Double Forge going up to just add an extra wall to that. Add an extra dimension to that wall. Okay, yeah, there's the mineral only there. We do see it is mineral only. So Canta is playing very defensively, trying to go up to those 3 bases as well. And, yeah, again, basically very few skirmishes even in this game, because by the time Bisu had those late Dragoons out, oh, he's going to scout the hidden expansion. He is going to scout it, and there's no way he would spend 4 pylons and 2... The SCV could just walk right through. Okay, interesting. I mean, vultures and tanks can't, but probably Marines could, I guess, but you're not going to be building Marines at this point. But the SCV just walks right in there and scouts exactly what's going on with that expansion. So he knows what's up. He knows that Bisu is going to be getting a lot of gas very soon if he doesn't do something about this. He has the starport already. with the control tower. A drop would be a perfect counter. Okay, just as I say that, you know, that's the reason why he got that earlier. He's got the dropship moving up along the map. Cannons are going down in that base. Can he get to that base with those vultures fast enough? There's no way for Bisu to actually even get his units into his own base to protect him. Those cannons are crucial. He's got another pylon behind his mineral line in order to put more cannons back there, but there is, if he gets vulture, wait, what is, did he not drop it? Did he not drop? But there's no, oh man. There's no cannons behind Bisu's third. He could have just camped vultures there and killed every probe or stopped mining for a long time, because Bisu doesn't even have a shuttle at this point. And unfortunately, Canta running into those couple cannons says, oh, I better turn around, and just abandons the drop altogether instead of trying to find a spot where he can get those units in. I mean, maybe he didn't see it, and the dropship maybe at low health or something like that. I didn't see exactly, but either way, it's unfortunate. And of course, he can't know exactly what the situation is in Bisu's third base, except he's Terran, so he can, because he has comsat, so he can tell what's going on anywhere on the map at any time. But I don't know. I guess he decided he didn't want to try and fit that dropship in there and find a spot to do any attacking there. So he's just going to opt for this longer game instead, and building up his factory count. I'm also surprised he is not trying to do like a drop at the natural expansion instead or something like that. He's just playing a long, slow game here, and you know, we'll see if it pays off for him. Letting Bisu get away with getting 4 gases and getting away with these fast expansions, what have you. I mean, again, Kanata's not that far behind. He's expanded fairly quickly himself to a third base, so he's kind of even on bases with Bisu right now. The difference is that Bisu has two more gases. Actually, 1 more gas. He hasn't taken the second gas at that base right yet. So basically, okay, Bisu only has 1 extra gas on top of Canta right now. And he's trying to push in here onto Kanata's entrenched position right now. I don't know if this is a good idea. He's just kind of clearing out some mines. As soon as the Dragoons started getting hit by the tank fire, he pulls back. Okay, now he's going in for this, and now he's going to drop tanks out and almost sieges them up within range of the cannon, but I mean, he didn't almost, but I mean, his tanks wandered into position there. So he's actually going to do a slower attack here. That was his plan, was to actually send in tanks to deal with this situation. And now he's actually dropping vultures into a weak spot in the defenses now that one of the cannons has been killed off. Zealots can get through that wall, though, so the Zealots are going to actually be able to come in here and try and deal with this situation. The cannons by the Nexus have been killed off. There is no third cannon behind the Nexus. So this vultures are going to be able to get a little bit of damage done, but the Zealots are just fine. They're going to be, there's just too numerous. They're going to be able to surround those vultures and take them out. So 2 tanks lost, some vultures lost in exchange for a couple probes and a couple cannons. I don't think that's quite what Canta needs right now. Oh, and he might get caught unsieged here a little bit. The siege goes up, and this is a really interesting spot there to have a battle, because Bisu on the high ground has a little bit of an advantage, but Canta is still sieged up where he can kind of reach the high ground with his tanks there. So it's still a good defensible position. And I wonder what Canta is doing. It looks like Canta might be trying to do a slow push across the map here, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's moved the tanks up a little bit closer, so now they have a clear shot over the high ground if he has the vision of it. Lots of Dragoons going down here, and no tanks have died in exchange at this point. So yeah, he's just kind of doing a slow push where he's moving a few tanks at a time, closer and closer, sieging up just by inches closer every time. But he's going to be putting the pressure onto Bisu very soon here. And looks like Kanata's decided to go around instead of trying to deal with that situation. And, you know, he's kind of been like, when Bisu unsieges and pushes forward, when Canta unsieges and pushes forward, Bisu's kind of like prodding in there, trying to do a little bit of damage while his tanks are unsieged and falling back. But in this case, instead, he's kind of moving some units around the map, trying to take broader map control and not let Canta dictate where the battle's going to happen. And oh, Bisu is taking the mineral only, but the probes looks like they're going to get slaughtered. Half of them died on the route to the new base here. That is actually a ton of vultures, and the vultures are occupying the Dragoons. Is he trying to plant mines here? I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Bisu might have an opportunity opportunity to collapse on those tanks, though, from a different angle while all these vultures are on the low ground over here. But no, Canta is again just being very methodical here, unsieging a bunch of his tanks, but not all of them, moving them a little bit farther forward, getting to a better position where he can push forward, and Bisu just hasn't quite had the army to deal with it thus far, or he hasn't wanted to commit to dealing with it, I should say. But now it's going to come a point where Bisu's going to have to commit to an all-out attack. He's going to have to throw his units onto the wall, and I don't know if this is going to be very good for Canta. Is now spread out very widely, and here Bisu comes in from the back, and it's just a few tanks versus Bisu's entire army. He kills the few tanks and moves into another few tanks, and Bisu's just able to do so much damage here. Storms going off on the tanks on the low ground as well. All the dragoons on the low ground have died, but the army from the high ground is coming in from the south, from below. And it looks like they are going to clean up everything that Canta had done pushing across there. And I think, like I said, Canta was just too spread out. His units were too spread out. And you can see some of his tanks were even back at his third, not being able to participate in that battle. And sometimes you do want your tanks to be in tiers so that when the units attack the front tanks, they're hit by the tanks behind. And when they attack those tanks, they're hit by the tanks behind that. But he was just a little bit too spread thin. And, you know, Bisu gets to eat the toast with butter on it, I guess. Because the butter was spread thin. Like, isn't that where spread thin comes from, right? Like, if you spread butter thinly, isn't that what? I don't actually know where that phrase comes from. It makes me think of butter being spread thin, but maybe there's something else that's spread too thin that phrase actually comes from. But in any case, Canta is toast now. Oh God. Canta, well, he's not actually that completely out yet. You know, he has been able to get a fourth base up in the bottom right while this all was all happening, and so that's part of why he was kind of taking control of that middle ground, was in order to just kind of, he was trying to push into Bisu's fourth, the mineral only, and also kind of secure ground for his fourth of his own. Bisu just got his first arbiter out as that battle happened as well, so Canta might not have been expecting it here. Canta now has been kind of forced to fall back to this middle area. Again, beautiful storm hitting so many of the vultures, and now the tanks as well. Absolutely lovely storms by Bisu, doing a lot of damage. Does he have the units to actually follow up and kill those tanks that have been damaged by the storms? And the answer is yes. There's no vultures left to protect him, and there we see Bisu's first person view. We get to actually see him biting down and chewing and swallowing the toast. I don't know, this metaphor has gotten way out of hand, but either way, it looks like Bisu is now barreling down on top of Canada's third base. He's going to be forced to fall back finally because his army's worn a little bit too thin itself, but he can now redirect down to the bottom right if he knows about that base, which he probably should, and just take this out with ease. And Canta was trying to mine from two gases over there, and he's going to lose all the SCVs. It's just like just an absolute gauntlet running down the ramp through the Dragoons, through the Archons as well. And it looks like he might be able to escape with the command center. He might be able to float it away, depending on how aggressive Bisu is in tracking it down. Yeah, so he's going to be able to get the command center out of there, but losing all those SCVs is a bad one. We just saw Canta scan the fourth base. He might have been trying to see if there was any cannons there, and this is why, so he could try to do a drop here. He wants to try and take out this Nexus, I think. I think he's probably going to actually right-click the Nexus with those tanks instead of going for the cannons, trying to see if he can finish it off because it was previously damaged by the earlier attack with the tank sieged up there, and he is going to get the Nexus. Boom goes the Nexus Dynamite, and another base goes down. So base for base is what's going on here. Bisu still has the double gas base though, he looks like Bisu might be taking the top leftish base, like the 11 o'clock base. It's hard to see. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's another base. Oh, is that the base that just went down? Was the 11 o'clock base? I thought it was the inside 3 base, so I got a little confused there. I wasn't looking at the minimap. I just looked at the spot, and it looked like that mineral only there. So my apologies. But anyway, point being, Bisu down to 4 bases at this point. Canta down to 3 bases. He's actually re-landed that command center right next to some zealots, so it's kind of an intriguing position there. He wants to try and retake that base. Well, he's got a lot of tanks now, actually. He might control enough of the center position of the map that it'll be too difficult for Bisu to get through there. And that command center finishes just in time that he'll be able to float it instead of having to cancel it. If he wants to try and keep that command center for later, basically. A nice little entrenched position. I mean, this map is very wide open near those inner expansions. So it's a little bit tough for Canta to deal with, and he's actually dropped this base again, and again, and this time he's actually again targeting the Nexus directly, not even going for the cannons. He actually takes that base out with just a couple tanks. Bisu trying to take the opportunity to counterattack here. He may feel that he's losing the economic advantage by losing 2 bases in a row and needs to make something happen to make a decisive move in the game, but he actually just blunders right into siege tanks with not enough units. The Zealots come in a little bit late, but can he re-engage now that those Zealots have rejoined? And it looks like more SCVs went to that bottom right expansion and then were forced to fall back again as Bisu threatened that area. So Canta now pushing out in the middle of the map a little bit farther. He's actually just destroyed a lot of Bisu's units, so this may be a moment where Canta can push out into the middle map and can try and take control of the map in general. Looks like those tanks were cleaned up. Don't know if they actually got up into the dropship or not. But yeah, wait, what? Why did he? Oh, he lifted. He like the SCVs just got there, and then he lifted it immediately. Oh, that Archon's gonna have so much fun. Yom yom, boom. I didn't see how many kills it got, but he probably killed several SCVs there. But anyway, the SCVs just got there, and then as soon as the SCVs got there, wait, was that the remains of a command center? Was that the... Yeah, there's a rubble there. Actually, that might be a turret rubble. That's not a command center rubble. Never mind. It's a turret or something like that. Oh, it's the Comsat station rubble. So he still has the command center floating off nearby, I think. So moving up here and taking out these Dragoons means that Canta might be able to actually retake this bottom right expansion. And we've seen Bisu not be able to really take control of the middle of the map. Canta is now nearly mined out in that third base, by the way, which means he probably mined out in his main in his second. Bisu also probably mined out in his main in his second. So both players kind of tapering off a little bit in their ability. They probably don't even have the money, the income right now to use all the production facilities that they made when they were flush with cash inflow. And Bisu taking advantage of the fact that Canada's army is down at the bottom. A nice stasis on the front tanks divides Canada's army in half. Stasis on the bottom as well is going to take out most of the tanks there. Now Canta does have his army coming from the south, the one that was there to sort of defend or retake the bottom right expansion. Another stasis on the units on the ramp there means that he's actually going to be able to just kind of pick off the units that are not stasis one by one. The SCVs are all going to get killed off without any units to defend him. But the stasis is also, I mean, you can't kill stasis units. So, yeah, you know, it's like... it's good for the fight, but it's bad for the war in a way, because now he can't really take advantage of the fact that he's kind of won a battle a little bit. Actually, what the heck, Bisu? Where's Bisu's army? Okay, there he's got a bunch of zealots coming, but it looks like Bisu actually lost more than I thought. I didn't see all the zealots die, basically. And so Bisu's kind of in trouble right now. He's almost mined out there. He's got some substantial minerals at that fourth still, but he is still a base up on Canta though, because Canta did actually have to retreat. It looked like he didn't have a command center in the bottom right after all, which I thought he must have, but he didn't. He was just like distance mining there. So he couldn't actually keep those. So even though he kept control of the bottom right area, his SCVs all died running away from that area. So it was kind of like kind of defeated the purpose, I guess. If he can get another command center there, what was going on there? Did he have a DT or something blocking the spot? Not sure what was going on there, but it looked like he was trying to build a command center, but he couldn't for some reason. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, Canta really needs that bottom right base though. He needs to get another base up in mining right now because he's starting to run low on his third in the middle of the map. It's gonna not matter soon that Bisu has not been able to crack that nut. And oh, he's actually gotten side left the 9 o'clock base up and running again. Interestingly enough, I think he snuck it. That was he floated that command center earlier, and somehow he snuck those SCVs over there, I think. Does Bisu know it's there? Yes, he does. And we're gonna see another absolute. Oh, he picked up in a dropship. He got the SCVs in a dropship over there. Nicely done, trying to sneak that in there. Bisu somehow knew it was there though, so he's going to send his units up there, but he's going to be able to float the command center and evacuate the SCVs again. But again, I think that bottom right spot would be a better spot for him to try and take if he could. And yeah, the command center's almost finished there. So sending the SCVs down that direction would be a good way to go. Kanata desperately trying to keep Bisu from getting this new base up. If he can stop Bisu from getting any new bases up and running, it's going to be, you know, and he can get his own base up and running in the bottom right, which it looks like he's going to be able to, then that means he might be able to take the long game. It's already been a long game, I guess, but yeah, taking out some cannons on that side base as well, but not really doing economic damage. So it feels like Kanata is kind of in a strong position. Like, Bisu is not really... He's had a couple chances where he's tried to, like, just slam down on Kanata's army, basically, and pick it apart, but he hasn't been able to actually find any lasting success with those attacks. Kanata has always held on to the bases for the... Oh, look at those! Okay. Is he gonna... Okay. Whew. I heard the deedle of the mine, and I was like, saw those probes, and I was like, are we about to see an epic mine drag and killing all those probes somehow? Didn't quite happen, just a little bit of damage on the Dragoons. But I was clenching my fist there for a second to see what was gonna happen. He's got a lot of Arbiters up now. That is 5 Arbiters, which is a lot. Are we going to see the recalls? He's got his units clumped up and stable for a recall. He's sending all 5 Arbiters into the southern position. He's going to try and double recall into the southern position to try and take out Kanata. And this might be the fell swoop that is going to finish off Kanata. Triple recall. And several Dragoons get demolished in one hit. So only... Sorry... There's like a helicopter flying overhead right now. I got really distracted because I didn't know if an appliance of mine was burning down. I had to take my earphones out to hear it. But in any case, sorry for the background noise, but that was the worst time for a helicopter to fly over and distract me in the midst of this battle. Bisu crashing down onto the southern base and actually taking it out, despite the fact that a lot of his forces were kind of scattered by the recalls, and some of them died him on impact as they were dropping down there. Like, the helicopter sounded exactly like a washing machine that was off balance, that was like about to throw itself on its side or something like that. And I'm not even running a washing machine, but it was just like a sound that was like, oh, nice. He actually blocked the ramp with his Stasis Dragoon to keep Kanata from reinforcing. That is actually genius. Now here comes perhaps the final blow to try and finish off Kanata, who's now down to basically 0 bases mining right here. He have the money income right now to make the units to actually deal with this situation a little bit late on that EMP for those that science vessel. He does, I guess, if somehow those Arbiters had extra energy for stasis or something like that, they're not going to be able to. But he's going to be able to do some substantial damage to the infrastructure of Kanata here. But ultimately, I don't think it's really going to matter too much. You know, killing the main base is not the objective right now. Killing the mining bases is the objective, and he's tried to land... How does he keep knowing this base is up? Over and over again, he has the star sense to find out, and actually by star sense, I mean there's an observer right there, which I didn't notice beforehand. Stasising the science vessel is cute. In any case, so yeah, right now this game has become such a drawn-out game that the few mining bases they have are where the game is going to be decided. Bisu has gotten 11 o'clock up and running. Kanata has lost bottom right, and I think those two facts that I just said are spelling out how the trajectory of this game is going to go. That Bisu is actually going to be able to continue mining. Kanata is just mining out his third base right now, if it's not already mined out. And yeah, actually we don't see any blue on the minimap. So Kanata is basically not mining at all right now. He's sending these tanks out in one final attempt to, I think, reclaim the 9 o'clock base in order to try to, or reclaim control over that territory at least. Here we come, Bisu coming in. He's going to try and finish him off once and for all. Bisu trying to defend his title right now, but Kanata has a lot of tanks in the back, actually, and he's gotten the scans down. Can Bisu push through here? He doesn't have any zealots left to charge through and take the brunt of the siege tech fire, but he has more coming from behind, and there's just too many Dragoons anyway. Kanata GG's. And Bisu takes the game. Well played. That was back and forth. What a cool game. I really did not know who was going to win there for a while, because it kind of was like Bisu took an economic advantage, and then Kanata looked like he was going to punish it, and then it looked like he wasn't going to, and then he took out the base, and he took out 2 bases with siege tanks, just powering down the nexuses, and it looked like Kanata was in firm command of that game, until Bisu with the triple recall. The triple recall, ladies and gentlemen. Which I'm going to see if I can find right here so we can get another view of that, since I was so distracted by the triple recall. the triple recall is really what clinched it, because right now Canta is mining. He's doing fine. And there's one. There's the second one in the back here. You heard mines going off on the northern troops, which actually did a lot of damage to those Dragoons. But it's just too much stuff here. And Canta''s too spread out over the entire map right now. So Bisu pulling all of his army into this enclosed space was just too much for him to deal with. And you can see Canta, and I didn't even catch the stasis the first time here. But Canta was trying to get up here to save that command center, and the Arbiters stasis the ramp to make sure that Canta couldn't reinforce. He's actually going to target down that command center as well. So that was the deciding moment of the game. A beautiful triple recall from Bisu to take out basically the last mining base of Canta, and secure the game for himself, because then he was able to, you know, keep mining himself and take enough units that in a few minutes from now, as we saw, he was able to take the game in its finality. So pretty cool move there by Bisu. Very cool game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. GG. Again, sorry for the random distraction at the high point of the game. But I was like, it just, with my headphones on, it was hard to hear. And I was just like, what is that? I have to, like, try and figure out what's going on to make sure that the world isn't burning down right now. So, and this was just like extra bonus recall. This was not really very important at all, actually. But, sure, distracted Canta from trying to get a fourth base, I guess, or trying to get a new base. Anyway, that's going to do it for this MSL Top 100 game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. GG.